What's going on, everybody? This is your boy King Germ, one half of Pod and Saved Our Marriage. Each and every Friday, Queen Germ and myself drop an episode to show the people how Pod and Saved Our Marriage. Now, we're not like most married couples. Most of the time we disagree, but that's the beauty of the show. So when you get through listening to Sparrows on the Review, come give us a listen. Each and every Friday on any DSP, go look for Pod and Saved Our Marriage.
Howdy, everybody. I'm JR.
And I'm Stacey.
And this is Sparrows Under Review. Now, let me ask you something here. When you deal with someone in life, Stacey, that's always constantly about movies, like, hey, there's 4 or 5 movies coming out every week, and we need to take time and watch 3 or 4 movies or 2 movies. Sometimes there's a movie that you just throw on in the middle of the day on a Thursday, Wednesday, Saturday, or whenever you're off. That's kind of like a background filler, and then it turns into something you end up watching.
Kind of like one of those ones where they have a budget and their box office is only about half, so it tanked in the box office, but you've seen bits and pieces of it that you know you're going to enjoy, so you're going to give it a shot anyways.
Yeah, sort of like that. And I think that's happened twice over this movie watching escapade. First, it started off with a movie called Borderlands, and I guess it's about to round up with this other one because both of them bombed in the box office.
They did.
Like, I want to say this real quick in the spotlight for a quick second. I love movies, and I want to stop basing my opinions on movies based on box office.
Right.
Which I never have, but sometimes
That's a lie.
Yeah, well, that's a lie. Yes. Sometimes I do. Well, there came this amazing movie based off of a 1955 children's book by Crockett Johnson, Harold and the Blue Crayon.
Purple.
Why did I say blue?
How did you ruin that already? Like, it's like, I want to stop the episode and re-record, but y'all are getting that. Like, just straight up error.
Right. I'm sorry about that. I don't know why I wanted to be a blue crayon.
And you're even looking at the Wikipedia.
Right. So when I look at the poster for this movie, the first thing I see is, it's that motherfucker from Shazam, and I hate Shazam.
It makes me think of Pee Wee Herman.
Right. Now, there's 2 alternate movie posters, and then there's the like the one that's not on Wikipedia, like the one that you see where he's walking and stuff. It's different than the one that you see as the theatrical release poster.
Right.
2 different things, 2 different sides. So surprisingly, I want to put this quick little part in here that I'm going to pass it straight along to my partner in crime, Stacey, with this. So this movie, I had a conversation with a friend of mine. And my friend, she was like, hey, you should watch Harold and the Purple Crayon. And I challenged my friend. I said, what is Harold and the Purple Crayon? And they're like, JR, you watch a bunch of different movies, so you and Stacey would enjoy this movie. And I don't take people's word for it. But I will say shout out to that friend for helping out with, a good selection on a movie. Now, back to you, Stacey. How did you feel about this when I first initially turned it on?
I don't know. I thought you were turning on some daggone kaiju crap or something to make us watch.
Because when it first starts out, it's 100% animation. And the animation reminded me kind of like Curious George, Caillou. Something that's not my normal type of animation, because we both know I watch anime and Studio Ghibli and stuff.
It was very childish animation is what you're trying to say.
Right.
It was not adult animation. It was child animation. Toddler animation.
So the way this movie plays out, this movie does its normal, we have a problem, we need a solution, we have a resolution, we have another problem.
But the only reason why they had a problem is because he created the problem.
Right. And overall, this was a feel-good movie for me. If this was something, if I was taking a kid that had a bad day at school or something like that, or had some kind of emotional trauma happen, and I did say emotional trauma, something that would happen bad to a kid, something like if they had a bad day or something, this would be something I would get them to watch. Or if they lost a loved one, this would be the type of movie I would get them to watch, because it has a good, it's a feel-good movie. It's not too harsh. It takes about a good 15 minutes to get into the movie. I will say that at the 15-minute mark, I was hooked. And from there on, the movie grew on me, and it took time. It was probably the best outing I've had watching a movie over a Labor Day weekend or just any extended period of time that I have off. And what was your take on this after you first watched the first 15 minutes, Stacey?
I mean, it turned into a cute movie. but I don't know so much as far as agreeing with what you said in terms of when to have a child watch it. I think it's just a lighthearted, feel-good movie for kids. I think it's a very good family-oriented show. So if you're old and stuck up in your ways, I wouldn't recommend it for you. But if you enjoy the playfulness and the fiction and the basically fantasy stuff, if you can picture all of that stuff and go along with it, I think that it's going to be a great movie for you and your kids or grandkids or the younger children in your life.
And I do want to say in this movie, I want to give a shout out to my guy, even though my guy's been with me since Get Out, Mr. TSA, and I am so sorry that I don't. All I do is always call him TSA.
It says Lil Rel Howery.
Right, and I like him. I've even watched his stand-up. He's funny. Him being in this movie...
Not Ray Rel. I don't know what I said, but whatever, sorry.
Yeah, but him being in this movie, playing the Moose, and then becoming the Moose, and then being another version of him, worked very well for me, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. The only thing that took away from this movie for me, because I always got to have one negative spot, was that this movie wasn't long enough.
I think it was plenty long enough.
That was my only thing there with that.
Because not every movie has to be 2+ hours long. An hour and a half is a perfect movie for younger kids to be able to have that attention span. Like, I don't think Asher would be able to sit around and watch this movie because he's too young and it's too long. Now, Luke, I can see him sitting down and watching this movie with us because he's old enough.
I can see that.
I have to disagree with you on the length. I don't need it to be any longer, because the shorter it is, the more opportunity you have to create a second movie if you want to, if it leaves it open for that.
Okay, I can see that. No, overall with this movie, I will say this. This movie worked out for me in many ways, but it really held me in this sense. It was a good, literally threw it on, doing another activity, and it pulled me away from the activity I was doing. I was typing something on my computer for some podcast or working on some UGC crap. So it pulled me away, made me like the movie. The narrator of the movie is what caught me also. And then the story, the plot, and how everything goes, I'm not going to take anything away from that or tell anything. And the whole idea of a magic purple crayon that can help you get anywhere and everywhere into 2 different realities, so we didn't have to even say the term multiverse, which I was so happy to actually just watch something and not hear those words. Right,
because it technically, it could have been perceived as a multiverse, but it wasn't, because it's, like you said, alternate reality more so. You have your Gumby, you have your book, and then you have your real world.
Yes. So yeah, that's the best example. So, going through this and not going too deep into it, but just enough to make you understand what I feel about this film. This worked out for me. It checked off boxes because it had humor, it had a little sad part to it, it had a range of emotions that can keep you tied into it, and it doesn't have that straight linear expression. It doesn't just have to go on a straight line. It bounces here and there, so it tickles all your fancies and everything there. So that's why this movie worked for me. Overall, this movie gets a decent rating from me. Will it be something that's in my collection? No. Will it be something that I recommend to someone that has a family? Anybody that's got 5 kids? Yeah, I'm going to say sit this down and go watch this with your 5 kids.
Right.
Or if you got the kids and, you're done with everything and you just need something to get those kids to just calm down, this movie can calm people down, in my opinion. To a degree. It's not all jumping around flashy. It ain't like watching Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or Spider-Man or something with the kids. It's not like a Pixar thing. It's real calming, about like the Curious George movies.
Mm-hmm. So this has been in the works for a long time. Have you went down and read the development and stuff like that?
Oh, no.
Yeah, so 1992.
Whoa.
Is when if the first date it mentions that I'm seeing here. So I'm not saying like it was started or anything like that, but that was when the talks of doing the film started. That's a long time.
That's film purgatory again.
Yeah. So I hate to say this, but if it's been in the works for that long, there has to be a reason.
Yes.
I don't think this is a film that I ever would have picked up to watch unless it was recommended by somebody.
Right.
And I'm not saying that in a rude way or anything like that. I didn't see any type of promotion about it. I didn't see any trailers. I didn't see anything in any of the theaters we went to for their previews. Maybe they didn't have a big promotional budget or anything like that. I don't know. I would have had no idea about this movie if it wasn't for you just turning it into one and basically saying, hey, we're watching this.
Right. And the whole catch with this is that this movie was released beside another movie called Trap.
Okay.
And what's odd is all the movies that have been watched or have been consumed all tie around the same weekend, and it wasn't a very popular weekend for movies because this came out, Borderlands came out, they all came out around the same time. And I guess that 1 week in movie history will always go down as let's make our movies, because Sony was behind this. It only made $6 million on its opening day.
Right.
And it followed behind Deadpool and Wolverine once again. So this was before the Colleen Hoover movie.
Right.
So with that being said, it was tough.
Right.
Coming out.
I mean, I still think that it was better than the Borderlands movie. But like I said, I don't think that there was enough promotion behind this movie, especially for if it wanted to target the younger audience. You have kids sitting on TikTok and everywhere on social media all the time, and I'll admit I'm one that just scrolls through TikTok because maybe it didn't hit my algorithm or something, but I should have at least seen a preview on this movie on TikTok or Facebook.
Right. And mind you, the source for me getting this, like someone telling me about this is a woman in her 40s watching this with her father that's like 60, 70 years old. So
I mean, I can see why. I mean, because of the old man. Like, I'm not calling him an old man, but
yeah. So my source for it didn't match what the demographic should have been for the movie.
Right.
Because what would make a 60-year-old and a 40-year-old woman sit down, or a father and daughter sit down and watch this together in the first place? Like, nothing in the movie, but they said that it was a good movie, so I took them at their word, because not, people do give me suggestions on stuff sometimes.
Right, and I'm not saying it's not a good movie, because, like, it had good parts to it. I think it was another one that it didn't have 100% of my attention, because it wasn't one that I had prior knowledge to, and whenever you do those things to me, I'm just kind of like, okay, whatever, let's watch this movie and see what happens. I did start to focus on it more in certain parts. I think more of the action parts, and I don't know, maybe I'm cold-hearted. I don't like so much of the talking points.
Right.
I like the action parts. And I do recommend this to anybody that wants to give it a shot. You should always form your own opinions on any type of movie. Yeah, I do like to hear what people might say about it, but listening to this episode, you could be like, well, I watched it and I disagree with you, and that's fine. That is absolutely fine. Tell me why you disagree with me, though. Send us a message or leave us a comment somewhere and say, I get what you were saying, but this is what I think. Or, your thoughts are stupid, so let me tell you why you're wrong. I don't care how rude it is, but just let us know. Tell us what you think about it and how they could have done better. And if they decide to do another one, how they can make that one even better.
Yeah, and I agree with that. And I will say this. This is my last disclaimer about this. This is just funny. This is a movie that you can watch on an afternoon. This is not something you want to make a prime time, let's do it in the evening type deal.
Right. I mean, it's only a 90-minute movie.
Right. So make this like your Sunday afternoon or Saturday afternoon or whenever you just have a free afternoon. I do not want this to be your prime time movie because you're going to need another movie to go to sleep with after this.
Right.
Like, or a strong TV
Like you could
show.
probably do this one in Borderlands together.
Yeah. And have fun with it. So on that note, I'm JR.
And I'm Stacey.
This is Spares Under Review.